Welcome back to Hilltop Stovetop, the place where we teach you how to make great meals in an ordinary kitchen. Today we're continuing on with our Christmas baking, and there's an old adage when you're a baker that if you're not sure what to make, what you do is you go to your oldest cookbook and you find the dirtiest page with the most splatters on it, and that's what you make because you know it's going to be good because it's been used a lot. And in our household, that's using the old Toulon cookbook that from 1953. So this is a community cookbook that was put together to commemorate Queen Elizabeth's coronation. And the stickiest page in that is the jumbo raisin cookies. And again, these are ones that kids love and that they're easy to make and lots of good stuff in them. This is also it makes a lot of cookies, or you can make it in little muffin tins and make teeny little raisin muffins out of it. So it's a great moist, almost a cake-like kind of a cookie. So we're going to start off, I've already started off with the raisin part. And what you do is you take your raisins and water and you boil it for 5 minutes. And what that does is the raisins that absorb all that water, and then this is going to be the liquid in our cookie mix. But if you just put the raisins in all by themselves, they're more likely to burn a little bit in the cookie, and it won't be nearly as moist. So other than that, we'll carry on with our standard cookie procedure where we're starting off with creaming the butter and the sugar together. So I've got a cup of butter here. And I will be putting this recipe in the description by starting off with a cup of butter, and we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. Like I said, this is quite a big recipe. We're going to end up with a lot of cookies out of this, but that's good. They freeze well, and so that's another thing that we can get things started with our Christmas baking well ahead of time. So it's nicely mixed up, and then we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. Again, because this is kind of a cake type mixture, a little vanilla helps. And then we're going to add in the raisins, which also includes the water that goes with that. So in this case, the raisins are still a little bit warm, but that's okay because the butter that I had was a little on the cold side, so it was a little chunky. There we go. So now, just the same as we did with our brown cookies, we're going to take all of our dry ingredients and get those all mixed together. So this recipe calls for 4 cups of flour. Bend over here to my one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 cups of flour in my sifter. Then I'm going to put in the rest of my ingredients. So let me see, what have I got? This is a 3/4. We want a teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of baking soda. And it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now I'm not going to put in that much. You do want to add some for the leavening factor. That'll help the baking powder and the baking soda do their thing. But I don't think we want quite as much salt as that calls for. That's just my own little thing that I do. And then you want 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And 1/4 teaspoon of the allspice. And as we discussed when we were making our last one, allspice isn't all spices, it's an actual spice from a plant called the Allspice plant. It comes from Jamaica. And then we want to do some nutmeg. Now with the nutmeg, we're going to light it here. There we go. The nutmeg, we're going to take our little nuggets of nutmeg. There we go. And it calls for a teaspoon of my nutmeg. And when you think about that, that's probably about a teaspoon's worth. The big chunks of nutmeg in there. That one's pretty much done. I'm going to switch to a new one. When it starts coming off in chunks, you don't want a chunk of nutmeg in things, so start with a new little pod. The bigger ones are easier to work with. You got more of a grip when you're grating them. Teaspoonful. And then I'm going to put in the remaining 2 cups of flour. So you see I've got those small ingredients kind of in the middle of this, and that will help incorporate it. And again, just bumping the sifter up against my hand. I could shake it back and forth a long time, but when it's got some resistance, it works a lot faster. And the crystally bit that's left over, that's the salt. So I'm just that doesn't want to go through the sieve particularly well, so we'll just dump that in separate. And now I'm just going to start adding that into our liquid mixture here. And I'm just going to mix it in a little bit at a time. And scrape down the edges, otherwise we'll end up with little floury blobs in our dough. Because this is a very soft dough, if you don't have a big fancy mixer, it's probably one of the easier ones to make. It's like a thick cake batter is what we're going to have here. There we go, and that's all there is to it. So you can see this is quite thick, but it's a little on the runny side. Now these cookies, when they're what they call a drop cookie, so we're just going to drop this onto our cookie sheets. But we're going to end up with a cookie that will also spread a fair bit. Okay, so there we go. just scrape right down to the bottom to make sure that there isn't any little pockets of flour stuck at the bottom. And then we'll swing over to our cookie sheet. Okay, now the easiest way to do this is just using 2 teaspoons. And we're just going to scrape out a cookie size blob like that. And we want to leave lots of room in between these ones because they will spread. Another way that you could do this is if you have a cookie sheet with an edge on it, you could spread the whole thing onto the cookie sheet. Matter of fact, I might do one of those just as an example. And then from there, you bake it as a whole and just slice it into squares. Okay, so we've got our 400-degree oven. Our cookies are ready to go. We're going to pop those in. And it's 12 to 15 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our timer for 12 minutes and check and see how they're doing. And then while we're waiting for that, we'll get our next one ready. And as you can see, I've got here a pan with just a little bit of an edge to it. I've still put parchment paper on there to make it easy to lift out. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of a bigger spoon here and spoon out some of this dough. Not nearly as much fun for the kids to make those little drops, but it's a nice fast way to make your cookie squares. And I'm going to do this about halfway up the edge of that pan. This is actually what's called like a jelly roll type pan. And this recipe also has the option to add nuts to it. I haven't. I have a lot of cookies that I make that have nuts in them, but this one in particular, I don't usually bother with it. I think there's enough in it with just the raisins. Try to make that a reasonably level surface. And if you don't have it reasonably level, one part won't be cooked and the rest will be overdone. So that's ready to go in the oven when the cookie part has come out. Okay, so we're just about at the 10 minutes, or 12 minutes, yeah. And we'll open her up here. Ooh, this looks perfect. Oh, maybe not. Because they're like little cakes, when you poke them, they should have a firmness to them. So I'm just going to give that, not the full 3 minutes, but I am going to give it another minute. And just with cookies, a minute is often all the difference that you need. Okay, so there's our first batch. Now I'm going to put in the giant cookie. And if I hadn't made these ones, I could have put all of that batter onto that one pan, which makes it much faster and easier. But you do have to give it a little more cooking time. So I'm going to start that one off with about 13 minutes cooking time, which is where we'd ended up with here. And then check that out. And while we're doing that, of course, we'll move these over to the rack to cool. And as you can see on the bottom, with our parchment paper, we've got a nice even browning to the bottom. So now, while we're waiting for these other things to cook, I'm just going to break this open so you can see that it's like a little cake inside. Quite soft, moist, and delicious. Okay, so our timer has gone off. I'm just going to pull this out for you to see. That was after 13 minutes. And it's almost done, but it's still quite soft in the middle there. So I think I'm going to put that on. And also the same as if it was a cake, where it's starting to brown around the edges. But I am going to give it another 2 minutes, which would make it the full 15 minutes of cooking time. Coco doesn't care how big the cookies are as long as she gets lots of them. Okay, so our timer has gone off. We're at a full 15 minutes. There we have a giant cookie, which we'll be able to cut up into squares. And there we go. Nice even brown bottom and little square cookies instead of round cookies. Thank you for joining us again today on Hilltop Stovetop, where today we made jumbo raisin cookies in both the cookie form and in the bar form. Just so you notice, in the bar form, if you wanted to, you could have iced this before you sliced it, just to make it a little fancier. And I hope you enjoyed this and that you will like and subscribe, because that's how YouTube knows that you'd be interested in seeing some more of my videos, and that's a great support for me as a creator on YouTube. So please like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you on our next episodes. We've got a whole bunch of new ones coming up, including I'm going to make an old-fashioned boiled ham. I'm going to do potatoes Anna and some pulled pork over the next few days. And then also we'll be getting into a little bit more of the fancier Christmas baking. And so if you do have any specials that you would like me to demonstrate, any Christmas favorites, be sure to put something in the comments section. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye now.